Hello, Amantis here, and today we are going to be playing some Mahjong on the app called Let's Mahjong app. This app is available for free on Google Play and the App Store. And if you're interested in downloading the game, I will be putting links to the game in the description box below. Alright, so let us start with some free play. What we're going to do is we are going to be playing the classic version of Mahjong. We're going to play with no flowers, and we'll be playing with a 3-point minimum. I've also currently set the game to 2 wins instead of just 1 win, so that we can have a slightly more extended version of what gameplay looks like in a longer game scenario. Alright. So let us start. And I'm also going to be taking us into the thinking process and some of the strategies that we use during 3-point minimum that we don't necessarily use in a 0-point minimum. Alright, so today we are going to be playing against Shuk Fong, Lucky Zheng, and Uncle Choi. Alright, let's start. So East Wind is prevailing, and let's see who is... Okay, so the game has started with player to the right. Okay, one of the things that... A lot of the common mistakes that most people do is that they pong Chow or Sung or Chow in at the moment they see it, but instead of doing that, let's look at what we've already got first. Since I'm not playing against other players and I'm playing against the AI, I can take a little bit of extra time here. If you're playing multiplayer online, by the way, there is a countdown timer in the corner where you need to make decisions within several seconds. Okay, so right now we do not want to pong because this is what we call a typical scenario here, where you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of character tiles, you get a little bit of bamboos, and some dots, and a few honors. And we are sitting in the north seat, as according to the dealer and starting position. Alright, we're going to skip and we're not going to take the pawn. We don't want that either. And I am going to follow through and remove all my character tiles first. And we have a 3. Once we have 1 and 2, we are going to chow that. And no more 9s for everybody. And okay, we can chow this one. Usually I don't necessarily chow this early on in the game, but the Melds are looking good, so we'll do just that. Seems that the player across me is also doing bamboos, so we might not get all the bamboos we want. But hopefully that works out in our favor a little bit more. Okay. So it seems that not a lot of people are doing, not a lot of characters are doing anything aside from bamboos and characters. Nobody wants to do characters. Okay, so we have 7 bamboos. We are going to chow that one, and we are going to start dumping one of the honor tiles. We are sitting in the north seat, so we're going to remove the west. If we manage to get a pong, take that as well. If we manage to get a pong for north, then we might just have a chance of getting that extra point. So now we have the Hongjong, the red dragon, so we're going to remove that. And we see if we are actually going to get a north or a red dragon. This is the sort of thing that happens very often. Oh, nice! Zimo, and I have self-drawn. So as you can see, 3 tiles will allow you to have that 1 extra point. Since I don't have 3 north tiles, that does not count. The points do not count if it's used as a pair of eyes, unfortunately. And over here you can see that the AI sitting next to me and across from me both have north tiles, so I wouldn't have one anyway. Because unless if they decide to discard those tiles. All right, let's continue. Okay, this works out as well. We'll remove that. We do have 3 pairs though. If we do get another pair, we might just go for that. Actually, we'll skip that. I don't want that either. And like I said, we do have to commit to one suit. Okay, this is very interesting. Now that I have 2 pairs, I am going to change my meld a little bit. I'm going to turn it into a Doi Doi Wu instead, meaning an all Pong hand. Nice. And we're going to remove the west first because that tile becomes a lot more dangerous later down in the game. Nice. Just gonna keep Pong. Now the only time that you can mix the suits is in this situation. Gonna gong that. We don't want the west either. Even though the west seat could have had some points, but let's not worry about that because that opportunity is gone. Nobody's gonna do west now. Nice. Don't want that. Now we're just gonna wait for the 1 bamboo and a sec wool, and it's a discard. As you can see, because east wind is prevailing, we get that 1 extra point, and because it's an all Pong hand, we still get a minimum of 3 points. So as I said, the only time when you can mix the suits, like I am doing right now, is when you're doing an all Pong hand. Otherwise, if you are going to use a Chow, if you're going to do any Chow movements, actions, and it's a mixed suit, then you don't get any points and it ends up being a chicken hand, Gai Wu, which means 0 points and you can't win because this is a 3-point minimum table. Alright, let's go. We don't want the 8 character. We don't just remove all the characters first. And let's see, we don't want that either. No, this is a 50-50. Let's see what we get first. Actually, no, I'm going to see if I'm going to take up on this offer. I'll take up on this offer and start removing the bamboos because people tend to be removing the dots more often than we are, getting some more dots. This is one of those risks that you take at a certain point in the game. Sometimes the decision is it's easier to make when it's earlier in the game because you might have more of one set of tiles, but when it's almost a 1/3 or a 50-50 chance, then it becomes slightly more difficult. Okay, let's see what we're going to get. Northeast. We are going to do away with west. I don't think we're gonna. I don't know if we're going to get a north pair, but we're going to see if we can get that. We don't have any more 2s here, so we cannot pull anything because the other 2 dots are already out there. So we're going to remove that. And we'll wait for the 3 instead. Gao 9. Okay, we don't want the 9 either. Okay, for the tiles in the middle, we want either the 5 or the 8 dots, and for the one on the left, 3 dots. I don't see any dots yet. Unfortunately, we already see 2 sets of 3 dots. This could end up being a draw, but I'm just hoping that it's going to be a draw instead. Oh, we can sew. Okay, we're gonna take a mild risk. We might lose, but let's see. Right. Nice. And self-drawn. This, as you can see, because this is a clean hand. A clean hand means that it's only 1 suit with honor tiles in the mix, and you at least get 3 points here. That's how you. This is why you must commit to only one suit of tiles in a 3-point minimum game. Okay, so next it's us playing the dealer role, and let's see what we get. Like I said, this is the most common scenario, except that we have more nice pairs of honor tiles in this case. Alright. As we are playing the dealer, we are sitting in the east seat. Actually, we're gonna remove that. And because east wind is prevailing, it also means that if we have a triple east, we are going to get double points because of the east seating position and the east wind prevailing. We are going to keep the characters. Okay, we don't want that either. We're gonna get rid of one bamboo as well later on down the game. Oh, we have a double north. Okay, this could play out to be quite interesting. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna remove that. Get some of the Tutman. I'm gonna go with 7, 8, 9 because otherwise it's gonna be harder to take care of those two. And we're gonna do that. And we don't want the red dragon either. The 6 we can do away with 5, or we can do away with 1. No, 3. I'm gonna go with removing that. 3, 4, 5. Okay, we do have at least 2 sets of Melds and a pair of 6. What we're going to do is it's a little bit tricky here because none of the honor tiles are out yet, and there is a possibility that one of the other players have got a pair of honor tiles. So we're going to do away with the north. Like I said, already somebody has a pong. Tutman, look, no, I'm gonna keep that. Yisam say, look, no, I'm gonna do away with this one as well because I don't want to mess up the top part. Don't want that. We are starting to reach the end game. You generally know about when you're going to reach the end game because the end section of the game because of the number of tiles left in the wall. That's nice. And now we are ready to win. Just gonna wait for because the red dragons are already out. It's no risk at all unless if somebody is waiting for that one red dragon for the eye. There's very little risk. Okay, so we're looking for the 6th character. Nice, and we self-drawn. Self-drawn has an extra point as well. Alright, so this is basically how you try and get minimum of 3 points. Like I said, do not do chicken hands if there's a 3-point minimum at the table. Alright, since we have already gone one round, because I have just won as the dealer, I get to go again as the dealer. So this is the east wind still. The east wind is still prevailing at this point. Okay, let's see. Right, we're gonna remove the dots first. Get rid of the dots, and we already have a 777. Nice. We are gonna keep that for now. We're not gonna gong that. We are going to keep that for now. Because we don't want to reveal. Firstly, we don't want to reveal what hand we've got. We have a 666. We don't. We don't want that either. It's more of a strategy to not reveal what you've got in your hand at this point. And I am going to go with removing one of the honor tiles. I'm going to go with the red dragon. Because the red dragon is gone. Okay, I'm going to open up the gong here. See what we get. We get another red dragon, unfortunately.
26萬
It's actually a very common occurrence to draw a tile that you've just discarded.
35萬 碰
That's just how decision making process goes. And it's actually more of a probability contest in this case. We are going to gong that one because
降1萬 1
I
萬
want that. Oh yeah. I don't think we're going to win in this round, but we're gonna.
碰7萬
Ay.
8萬3筒
It's actually less risk to
2萬
remove them now
碰2萬
because otherwise, if that's the last tile that one of the players is looking for, then you're pretty much in deep trouble. Okay, now we remove
5萬6筒
the character tiles because it's less risky.
9筒發財
So one of the strategies of playing Mahjong, especially at this late in the game when you only have very few tiles, extremely few tiles, like you're talking about between 7 to 8 stacks, 8 pairs. That's the riskiest time to remove the honor tiles because, like I said, honor tiles, usually in free tile minimums, the honor tiles are usually kept and held until the last minute, in case just so that you might be able to make a pair meld. All right, we're not going to pull that one.
1筒白的糊
Like I said, it's because because one person is looking for the north tile that I had earlier on, the west also, and like I said, it's actually a lot less risky when you start removing the honor tiles slightly earlier than the end part of the game. It just minimizes the risk of having you to lose out because, as you can see, the discarder pays for the last tile that they've lost to the winner. Alright, and now we are in a new round, also known as a new wind. And after the east wind, it's always south, so we are playing. So right now it is the south wind that is prevailing. So we are seated in the north seat, and south wind is prevailing. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the
1筒8筒
bamboos and slowly collect the other tiles.
7索
We're playing a bit of a collector's game here. I'm not gonna take that at this point.
1索上1筒
Slightly difficult.
8索
Just a slightly
4
difficult
索
decision to make. I am not taking that. Although now I'm starting to get a few more dots. Okay, it seems that nobody is throwing out characters, so I'm going to
7索
remove the characters.
4筒
Because there's a possibility that, very high possibility that one of the other AI characters is AI players is playing with the character tiles, collecting the character
3
tiles.
索3筒
One of the other strategies that you need to look into when sitting down for a game of Mahjong is check what other players are
上
throwing out,
2
or
萬
discarding.
4索
Like I said, the player next to me wants the character tiles, and I was right because there were no character tiles coming from that
1
player.
萬2筒 6筒
So it makes no sense to hoard. All those character tiles. Alright, I'm going to pull that one.
1萬
And
3索 9筒
we're starting to reach mid game. I
9萬
don't know
6筒 7筒
right now what I should be discarding. I'm going to discard the red dragon.
東2索
Because I don't think because the east character is just discarded, it's actually safe to discard the east at this point as well.
紅中
North is already out just now, and I am taking up the North.
58萬，
紅中
南
碰5萬，
That's actually a more of a defensive way of playing. It's a defensive tactic when one person is one of the players is discarding a certain tile, and you follow suit. That is the safest way of playing
2同
because nobody wants that tile. You know that nobody wants that tile at that moment.
3同
9萬，
As you can see, 2 players of wanted characters made the right choice because everybody was discarding dots and nobody wants them. The character to our left the player to our left wanted to get the bamboos. So that's also one way to play. You have to check what other players are discarding, and you know approximately what sort of hand they are going after. Alright, next up. South wind,
8同8索，
north seat, and we do not
4
want
索6索
those.
2索，
We're gonna keep the
7
characters.
索
2同
We're gonna try and get a clean
9 同
hand.
6索
5萬，3萬，
No, we're keeping what we've
8
got
索7同
because we don't want to
8
show
萬，6
the
萬
other, because we don't want to show the other players at this point what we want, but we're gonna take this one
上
because
3索8索
it makes sense right
6萬
here and now.
6索8同
7同4萬，
And okay, we're just gonna remove all the dots first.
2萬
Man, yep, enjoy. Want the dots.
7索
1萬，6萬
We
6
don't
同
want the dots either. Still mildly early. We're reaching midpoint now. I'm gonna go with that because otherwise I don't know what to do with the 9. And we are going to have to sort out those honor tiles at this stage. Okay, we're going to go with. I'm going to go with west.
3索
東8萬，
Some we'll
8
keep
萬
that.
北
東北
北
North just went.
西1
Nobody's
萬
gonna take north anymore.
3索北
Now we have 3 and 4 and 7.
9索，
Okay, we're going
9
to
索4萬
take out the
9索
9.
紅
I
中
have to remove the
Hong.
south as well.
紅中
Like I
7同
said, it's an early
8
move.
萬1索
6
Don't
同
want that
紅
either.
發財光白板3萬，
Ay ay ay.
東6索
東6萬，
西
South, I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
anybody wants.
西3索
Okay, we have a
2
1.
同8萬
1索南
2索4同
Ay ay ay. That is a pure hand. That is a massive pure hand. 7 points for a pure hand. That's why sometimes you try to make a pure hand. Okay, and Uncle Choi won this game, so we're going to move the dealer to the next position. So now we are sitting in the west seat. Okay, we have more bamboos than
9同
the other
7索
tiles.
1萬
As always, you commit to one suit
9索
only.
3萬
And right now it's a very easy,
4同
very
7萬
easy
5索
indicator because we pretty much know what we're doing here. 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 6. We will do 3, 4, 5.
上3萬5
I'm
同
gonna keep the 6 for the pole instead if it comes out.
上7索
1索6萬
Okay.
2索9萬
And
4
we
同
want
6索
dots.
碰
Pong die. And we're
5
gonna
萬
keep
4索
that
1
one.
索5萬
Yeah, yes, so already 2 yatsok. Only two of the 1 bamboos are already gone, so we might have to rely on the 4 bamboos.
5索
3萬7萬
Yeah. Got a pair of 2s. I'm gonna keep that.
發財4索
Let's see if we can make a pure
Same
hand
one.
ourselves.
4萬東
南1
We're
萬
about to reach midpoint.
西
Gonna remove
9
that.
索
6萬3索
8萬
Remove that earlier on as well,
2索
especially if you want
碰 2萬
Okay, we're looking for a free.
細
We are going to look for a free bamboo. We're going to gong
5
and
同2同
上
see if we can win the free.
碰
See
細
if we can get
東
the pure hand.
50東
This is the most exciting part. This is also the part where I might lose
9同
if I discard
8
one of the big tiles.
中
江
Nice.
3萬1索
4萬7萬
Some salt. I want my free bamboo. Do I have my free bamboo? I have one on my hand. I can see one outside, so one other person must be holding it.
4同
40發財
1同6同
30
Team. Nice.
9
And that's how I get a pure hand, with 7 points. And you can see it gives me 192 dollars, kind of. Okay, that's how you cheese other people. Alright, and next, South Wind still is prevailing, and we are seated in the south seat. Alright, we are going to
2同
30
move that.
7萬
Tutman. No, I'm going to keep my
40 4同
2同6萬
keep what I've got right now.
8同
I'll keep the white dragon
1同1萬
because I have 3 of them. I'm not going to collect that
8
either
同7萬
6同6同
because I don't want to mess up what I've already got.
6同
1同1萬
4同4同
藍
No.
碰8索2萬
Nope. Same man. Okay, I have a 4, so I can do 3, 4. I can do 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 5, 6. I need a 4 and a 7. I need 2 7s over there.
西5萬
Man. Some. Okay, man. Some say no, I'm going to skip on the pong.
6萬
See. Some say no. Say no. Say no. Yeah, I can do. Actually, no. I'm not gonna do that.
7索
Because I've got a double free. If I had a double free, however, I would totally be collecting that. But no, I'm not gonna do the pong either.
3同2萬
As tempting as it is, I'm not going to do that. Or we can do some say. Some say. No. I'm gonna skip that as well.
8索2同
It's still mildly early in the game,
8
even though it's a very bit of an exciting moment. Yeah, some say look. Okay, we are about to win somehow, and I am going to remove. I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna remove the
8
8.
萬
降2索
And we have collected the 9 character, and that lets us win. The reason why I removed the 8, discarded the 8 instead of the 9, is because 8 is already. No, actually 8 is not already out. 8 is because 8 there is a higher probability of somebody discarding the 9 because it's at the end of the line for the list of Chow Melds that you can make, and people tend to remove the 1s and the 9s most of the time. So we are going to take that. We have self-drawn, when we have triple white dragon, so that counts as 1 point, and we have a clean hand, 3 points. So we have 5 points here. Pretty good. Nice game of cheesing. Alright, everybody's losing. Everybody else is losing in this game. You consider the number of cash they might have lost at this point. Okay, like I said, this is the typical scenario where you get a mix of everything. We're going to
3萬
remove
7
the
索
characters
6
first.
同7同
6萬
Don't want that.
6索
9索7索
And Tussauds. No, we're going to skip that.
3萬8索
3索6同
So we're going to go with bamboos. There's more bamboos coming out.
3同
People don't People don't seem to be wanting doing bamboos, so I'll
五筒
be doing bamboos instead. Seitong. No.
七筒
No, I can't.
四萬
六
I'm
筒
not going to.
六索
I'm not going to get that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm going to skip that. Even though the app is making that music, that little jingle music that is telling you that you're about to win, do not listen to it at this when you're playing 3 points, because you are not going to
9萬
win anything out of
九筒
this current hand
四筒
that I've got.
2萬
一索六筒
Okay, now that the funky music is
Sample.
gone, can finally play in peace. Okay, I'm gonna
碰
pong that one, and I do not
二
want
筒
this
上
one.
二索
四索
Might have to do away with the
2
the
萬
white dragon
七索
on
九
at
索
this point. And no. If you're enjoying this game, or if you would like to know the basics of playing Mahjong, I have already made a video on the basics of Mahjong,
中7萬
which I will link in the description
Stop.
box. And let's see what else we're gonna do. Okay, we're going to move
六索
the dots. So no, wait. So I'm saying oh, we already have a 222. Okay, we're not going to be able to make them meld out of that, so we're going to skip that. Oh, okay.
8板藍
南三索
Some sock. No, all the 2s are out, so I can't make any melds out of
5
that.
萬4萬
五萬南
一筒一筒
九筒
Keeping track of the tiles that
藍
have already been discarded is just as crucial when you play any game of Mahjong, because that's
8萬
how you decide whether to keep some of your tiles or to remove them.
碰
I don't think I'll be winning
北
this
白板
particular
8板
game though, but that's fine because I've already won quite a lot
中
of
5筒
games
中
previously.
九筒
8筒
降
40
五萬七筒
Oh, and that came from a discard. With a clean hand. This win from last discard in sequence. That is a sequence hand. Okay. And Shokfeng might have won that particular game, but I have won the majority simply because I have been using everybody out of their wins. And okay, so as you can see, this is the score that I've got. And let's play a little mini game here before I finish this gaming session. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this game of Mahjong. Also, let me know if there are any questions about Mahjong that you would like answered, such as playstyle or whatnot. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.